exciting.
Scary.
Did you do anything fun today?
No. Homework.
How's that going?
It's okay. I'm kind of stressed, but that's okay. There's just so much to do.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
But it's good. This is the last week, so it's fine.
Okay, I hope.
Let me know when you're recording.
Yes. Okay, this should be good. I'm gonna start recording right now.
Okay, me too.
Okay? I'm gonna play our intro. I keep forgetting the intro is longer than it was initially created to be. Okay, this is so exciting. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to In Our 20s.
We are two girls
In Our 20s.
living in the 2020s.
I'm Paulina.
I'm Brianne.
So today is our very first book club meeting. I am so excited for this. We're going live right now. We have one guest. We are very proud. Thank you, guest, for being here with us.
Can you
Although,
see who it is?
no, I, I was hoping we'd be able to comment. Usually on lives you're able to leave comments, but I
I think
don't
you
see
can.
that up. Okay, cool, excellent. So, all right, if you're new here, In Our 20s is a podcast with two girls in their 20s, and we're here to be your online best friend. Oh, hi, Jordan. Thank you for
Hi!
joining. So, all right, Brian, do you want to check us in?
I would love to. So, we'll do a little check-in before we start talking about our books, because, it is a podcast. So, this is okay, first of all, this is so weird. I feel like I can't mess up because we can't cut anything, but okay, I'm just gonna okay. So, this is my starting tomorrow is my last week of undergrad ever, which is so wild to think about, and I'm really nervous that it's just all gonna end, and then what?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
it's
I'm trying
scary to
not to
think
have,
about.
this is like ultimate Sunday scaries because I was like, "This is gonna be my last Sunday scaries in a long time."
Your last Sunday scaries of undergrad ever.
Mhm. So I'm nervous, but it's gonna be okay and it's gonna be fun. And today I spent like pretty much the whole day doing homework and trying to speed run this book because I haven't had the time to read the book, but it's okay because I'm about halfway through. Luckily, it's a YA and you can just like speed through it. I'll probably be
Mm-hmm.
done tonight.
Yeah, and let's be real with
But
YA books. You kind of know what's gonna happen. Like
yeah,
there's not gonna be a major groundbreaking event.
no. Like from the beginning I was like, "Ah, okay. Like these characters are endgame, period." But it's okay.
Yeah.
Um Other than, your birthday, which I think you wanna talk about, I have, no pertinent updates.
I mean, you did see Noah Kahan.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I that slips my mind every day, it's crazy.
did you see he brought on Shawn Mendes in Toronto yesterday?
Mhm, mhm.
He could have brought Gracie Abbott. Who
We could have
knows?
brought Lizzie McAlpine, but no one's talking about that.
Or Hosier? Come on.
Yeah, true. I love
It
Lizzie
was so good.
McAlpine.
I wake up every day and I'm like, I was in the presence of Noah Kahan.
Mhm.
I was shook. Like,
You
I
were
never
breathing the
knew him to
same
be.
air.
I know. I was like, the icon is right in front of me. great time.
Crazy.
All right, so for myself, I had my birthday yesterday. I am now the ripe age of 23. My birthday was a hoot. It was a little wacko crazy. So I made the really excellent decision of having a martini, espresso martini, while
Oh my
at
gosh,
home.
yeah.
And let's just say there is a reason you're not supposed to take painkillers while drinking alcohol. I got so sick, and we went to a trampoline park. And I was on my period, and my ibuprofen wore off while at the trampoline park. But I was too scared to take another one because I was under the influence a little bit, but like whatever. So I ended up taking it, and I got so sick. And we were heading out to get dessert. We were gonna get bingsu, which is like one of my all-time favorite desserts. And we make it there, and I just decided I can't. Like I was worried I was gonna throw up in Holly's car.
So you guys didn't end up going?
No, I was so sick. Like we made it. Everyone made it. It was just us two and Russell and Ian. And I was like, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm worried. I'm about to throw up. And oh my gosh, I went home and I just like laid in bed. Interesting thing that I did on the eve of my birthday. I watched JoJo Siwa's video Karma 3 times, trying to figure out what is going on because I couldn't
What's the
figure it out.
plot?
I couldn't get the plot. I
Mhm.
couldn't take what the song's about with what the video is about and try to like find a some knowledge.
Yeah. Like, I can't believe I spent 3 minutes watching that.
I will say it's entertaining. Like I genuinely enjoyed the video. I I struggle finding the plot.
Wait, sorry. You enjoyed watching the video?
I did.
I
I thought it
felt
was entertaining.
I felt like I was invading her privacy. Like, it felt
Well,
like a
okay,
diary entry I was reading and not
yes,
supposed to be reading.
there were certain parts that I wish I didn't see. I will say that. Usually, when there was her with a partner doing things that I think are a little bit more private, good for her. But like the other parts where I was like trying to figure out like why did she jump off the cruise ship, girl? What?
I
Why is she like going mermaid? I was like going that when she comes out of the water like Moto Moto sent me. That sent me.
Mhm.
But good for the girlie. And then aside from my birthday, birthday stuff,
Birthday.
birthday, I have been on my YouTube game. I'm currently filming 2 videos in one. It's a little overwhelming because I feel like not a single video is getting done because I'm like stretching it out too thin. So I definitely need to
Mhm.
figure that kind of stuff out. But yeah, I'm having fun.
Good. I was really sad to see that your video that you just posted is so short.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that it was so short when editing it, but I just didn't have any more content. I wish it wasn't so
Sad.
short, but yeah.
It's okay.
Okay, Polly's gonna clap. So, better than the movies. Excellent book. Wow. Wow. I enjoyed this book so much.
Me too.
This book was
And I'm only
so
halfway through it.
yeah, so Brienne has agreed to have this conversation and willing to take the spoilers.
Yes, I am.
I read this book while I was extremely sick. I thought I was had with it what is it called? The bubonic plague. I was dying. And I read this in 2 days in bed. It was so delicious. It was so good. I think about this book and I get like goosebumps and it's so adorable. I loved it.
I was reading this book at a cafe, and Alex was like, "It's time to go, girly. Like, we have to go." And I was like, "No, I must finish." So I was
Mm-hmm.
like speed reading, and like, you know how like sometimes when you speed read, you like don't really get the full story? But I was speed reading, and I was like, "This is so freaking cute." Like, something about like It's kind of weird to enjoy like reading about a high school romance, but it just
Hmm.
brings me back to like when I was in high school and I was like, I'm gonna have this like really cute rom-com, romancy, like feelings and stuff. Never happened. That's okay. It's fine. I'm over it. But like, I don't know. This is just so cute.
I
And
really enjoy
it gives me the same vibes as Today, Tonight, Tomorrow or today yeah, by Rachel Lynn Solomon. Because it is also like enemies to lovers kind of thing, and they're in like senior year of high school, like blah blah blah. Speaking of, wait, we never told people, but we both got arcs.
We did.
Hmm.
That was
It's
crazy.
it's getting to our heads. We are like feeling a little bit like too cool for school, you know.
Yeah. No,
What
I
did you get?
let me grab it right here. Okay, so I got Ruth Ware's One Perfect Couple. Ruth Ware is a popular thriller writer.
Have you
So
read any of their books before?
no, but I have many of their books on my shelf.
Oh, cool.
So I
I
plan to do another Finding the Best Thriller video, and that will be later.
cool. Okay, cool. I'm excited. I got crazy enough. I got the sequel to Today, Tonight, Tomorrow, which like who would have thought?
So crazy.
I know. I
Not
can't
like
wait
we
to read it.
picked out the arcs that they sent us.
What?
We picked out the arcs that they sent us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but I
we
was
had
like,
like we
it wasn't guaranteed. So I am very happy. Okay, so better than the movies. I have some questions here for us. Oh, before we dive into questions, let's do a really, really quick synopsis. So, Better Than the Movies is a YA romance about this girly pop named Liz who lost her mother at a young age.
which like crazy to start like that.
That was a crazy epilogue, not epilogue, prologue. So, she is a lover of rom coms because of her mom. Her mom really fed that to her. They watched a lot of movies together, and that's how she grew up. And she always saw her like her soulmates coming to her in the rom com kind of way. And it's senior year, and she feels really sad and stressed out because all of these huge milestones are happening, and her mom isn't there to experience them with her. So her one of her friends always asks her to go prom shopping, and she keeps pushing it back. And this girl's not good at communicating, but to be fair, like very few people at 17 are. So she wasn't able to communicate to her friend that, hey, like I'm not, this is like really hard for me because my mom won't be there to see it. But what happens is this boy from her childhood moves back, and she's like, "This is it. This is my rom com moment. This boy is my soulmate." And her next door neighbor, Wes, they're enemies, and they always fight about a parking spot right in front of her house. He helps her try to get the boy who returned. I think his name was Michael. Is that right?
Michael, yeah.
Yeah. And then a romance ensues, and eventually Liz and Wes end up together, and it's really, really cute.
It's important to know too that Michael, Liz, and Wes were all like childhood friends. They grew up in
Yeah,
the same neighborhood and have a lot of childhood memories together, which ends up being like an important part of the plot because Michael can't see Liz as like who she is now, but rather as like who she was as a kid.
exactly. So let's do some general thoughts. General thoughts. I the one thing this is so random, but I have to mention it because I think about this all the time.
Mhm.
The one thing that bothers me is at one point Lynn Painter describes Liz as having curly red hair, like almost kinky red hair, and she says that once, and it kind of just throw that over his shoulder. Or and like on the cover of the book,
Mhm.
it's just her with straight hair and I don't know, little detail that kind of
Well, it's 'cause Wes was like, "Ooh, you should straighten your hair
true, true. But
and
then
change your look."
she doesn't really do it all the time though,
Yeah.
you know.
Like, okay, but that's like a small, like, continuity thing that happens in,
Yes,
like, any book, I feel like.
I do agree.
I love, like, how every chapter begins with, like, a little quote from a rom-com,
I think that's really sweet.
and I love the use of music in this book.
Yes.
It's really interactive, it's so cute, and I love the general vibes of the book. Like, it's just so, mm, like, like, I just
It's
wanna, like,
really cute.
I just wanna squish
Yeah.
their little faces and be like, "You guys are so cute," like, growing up, like.
Yeah. Ugh, I really like enjoyed this book. So,
Mhm.
Brianne, I don't think you have has Liz gone prom dress shopping yet.
No, so where I'm at, Liz blows off her friend to go shopping with Wes. Wes gets her the shoes, which cute,
Mhm.
so cute, and then,
Mhm.
Liz and Wes are at the basketball game right now.
Yeah.
She was confronted by her friend. What's her friend's name?
Joss.
Yes. She was confronted
Jocelyn.
by Joss, and then, she broke her nose, and they're going to go to the hospital.
Yeah. So let's chat about Liz, the way Liz treated Joss. Joss. I think
Mhm.
I I have some thoughts. So what ends up happening is eventually the truth comes out,
Mhm.
and their friendship teeters, and eventually they decide not to go to prom together. Well, firstly, she did end up Liz ends up going to prom with the person she wants to,
Mhm.
and that Jocelyn is obviously really upset about this, and she because Jocelyn finds out that Liz starts to get feelings for Wes,
Mhm.
and Liz tells Jocelyn like, yeah, I think Wes is the guy for me, and then she still ends up going to prom with Michael, and Jocelyn is like, who is this person?
Mhm.
Who are you? What the freak? And they, she finds out that she's been lying and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
I think when you're so young, and I've seen a lot of I've seen a little bit of criticism on this book because it's a widely well received book. But the
Mhm.
criticism is that Liz doesn't act her age, and to be honest, I think she does act
I think
her
so
age.
too.
I I think people have a skewed perception of how a 17-year-old is supposed to act, and let's be so real, like this girl like hasn't really experienced a crazy love of her life yet. She experienced a couple of relationships they mentioned, but nothing like drop dead amazing. And oftentimes that's what happens to girlies, I find, especially girls who did come from a little bit of broken families. In her case, she lost her mom. She didn't really have someone beside her telling her, like, hey, hon, like, that's not cool. That's not what you do. I think what she did was not acceptable by all means, but I think given the situation and given her age, I think this very often happens to people.
I Yeah. When I
Yeah.
was reading it, I was like, "There's no doubt in my mind that these kids are kids." Like,
Hmm.
of course, she's not gonna just talk about her feelings so, like, openly with her best friend, like, that's not something that you learn until you're older and have been
Hmm.
through, like, a lot of friendships and like, relationships. And, like, going after having your mindset on one guy, but having feelings for another, like, that is also so normal in high school when you're, like, figuring yourself out and figuring out, like, how a relationship works. And she is someone who, like, had this in her mind that, like, she was gonna go on to prom with this guy, and that was, like, her what she wanted and her, like, her dream or whatever, and she got that and then realized, like, I'm assuming she realized it's not what she wanted, and that's totally 100% normal.
Well, what she realizes, she has like a really good self reflection moment I don't
Mhm.
remember what's the name of the other girl, the girl that she hates.
Oh, the one who's, like, trying to go after Michael?
She realizes the entire time that their beef was extremely one-sided, and the other girl has, oh, like, been, what's the word? Was always very um, empathetic to the fact that she no longer had a mom, and we
Mhm.
see this other side of people were rooting from her from the sidelines. And I think that's also like the really tough thing with grief. People who lose someone, you like when you experience a friend or someone in your life who loses someone, and you yourself have not experienced that, it's really hard to know how to
Mhm.
comfort that person, especially at a very young age. So I feel like we don't. I feel like people forget that the people that lose someone, the grief is there for life, and they need
Mhm.
support. And people are sometimes scared to come up and help the people who are
Mhm.
grieving. And I think that's what happened to Liz. And yeah, I don't know if I strayed too much from what I said initially.
No, it's okay. It's a good reflection of the book. And, like,
Yeah.
I think this brings up an important character too, is, um, her dad's new partner.
Yes. Let's talk about that.
And yeah, so I'm noticing from, like, my part of the book that there is, like, a distant relationship with them. Is her name Helena? I
Yes.
think it is. Yeah.
Hmm.
And one part that, like, really broke me was when, Joss came over and was like, "Hey, are we gonna go prom dress shopping?" And Helena was like, "Oh my gosh, prom dress shopping, that's so fun." And then Joss was like, "Oh yeah, my mom's taking us." And Helena gets kinda sad, and Liz
Hmm.
kind of feels a little bit bad about it, but she's like, "I forgot, whatever." So, I think there's gonna be something developing there, which makes this book more than just, like, a romance. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that something does happen there, but you can tell me.
Yeah, something does happen there. They connect, and I think I don't know if I'm remembering this wrong. I think she's comfortable by the end of the book calling her mom
Yay!
or something like that. But I
Or, like,
don't
her
remember.
stepmom or whatever.
I might have made that up. So I think I'm gonna blame the dad
Okay.
because like the dad clearly did not do a good enough job integrating his new partner with a daughter who is still grieving. And this is a trope we see a lot in movies.
Mhm.
Grieving daughters and their fathers who are trying to move on because it like themselves hurts them a lot and they don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
I think they did her very dirty. And there's honestly, do they mention at any point that she goes to therapy? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
There's so much work that had to be done, and Papa should have been better. So I'm gonna say that's the initial issue. Secondly, I do think Helen, whatever, is is a very understanding person. I think she understands that this child is grieving and
Mhm.
knows that she's never gonna replace mom.
Mhm.
So I think Helena's reactions to things were very normal, and at the same time, so were Liz. Like Liz, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, is a Disney child. I do think what happened happened. I honestly, there should have just been more conversations with the family. I think Dad didn't talk enough to his daughter.
No. I don't think dad is very present.
Yeah, the entire time I felt like Dad was a neighbor more than
Yeah.
a family member.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But that's okay. I mean, it's not. But
Yeah,
maybe that's just what was supposed to happen all along. I don't know.
maybe. Have you gotten to the scene of Wes seeing her at the graveyard?
No.
So, um, Liz runs every day to visit her
Mhm.
mom,
Yeah.
and one day Wes like sees her and follows her. I think he follows her, and doesn't realize that she's talking to her mom, and like interrupts, and she like really gets upset. It's obviously it's like embarrassing for her, She's not
Mhm.
gonna think this guy's gonna understand. He's gonna worry that she's crazy. Like this is something that she's done that no one knows. Like none
Yeah.
of her, and that they have like she runs away and she's like, oh, whatever, whatever, you know how kids are. But then they like bond over that because he shares that I think he lost a grandmother who was like very dear to him,
Mhm.
and whenever he visits where her graveyard is, the city she's in, I think he visits tries to visit her graveyard. But at the end of the book, when they're together, right before they're about to move away to college, because they're going to college in the same college, they are together at her mom's grave, and just
I'm
like
gonna cry.
I cried. It was just
I think
so,
I'm gonna cry.
it was so cute. Yeah, it was really wholesome. Something I do want to talk about. So there is a sequel coming.
Mhm.
Oh, what was it called? Shit, I forgot.
Do
Let
a
me
quick Google
Google it.
search.
Okay, I believe it's called Nothing Like the Movies. There's gonna be trouble in
Interesting.
paradise. The plot is that their relationship starts to teeter, and Wes's perception of Liz, like the image he has of Liz, of this like girl next door kind of
Mhm.
situation, starts to falter, and they break up. But the story this time is, my thought is it's gonna be dual perspective, and it's Wes trying to win her back.
I would love a dual perspective.
Yeah, I believe it's coming in the fall.
Can we get
Yeah,
arcs for that?
Miss Lynn Payton. I think we
It's,
can. I
um
think we can do anything.
it's Simon& and Schuster.
Was it? Oh man, it was not on the art thing, was it?
No, I don't think so, no.
I think we can do anything. I think we can get that for this. Excellent. Yeah. Okay. I want to talk about some of my favorite quotes.
Okay.
Quotes that made me melt. Okay. First one. When they are prom dress shopping, she tries on this one dress, which is her perfect dress, because all the other ones like just were not it. They were not the
Mhm.
style. Because one thing we learned in this book is she has a very particular style that is different
Yeah.
from all the other girls. And so she takes a picture of one of the dresses she tries on that she really likes, sends it to Wes, and he says, "Buy the dress. I'm begging you." Yeah, so that's cute.
Bye! Really?
And then later on in the book, I think this is right after they kiss for the first time. He says to her, "You look best when you're you."
Says the guy who tried to change her, like, in the
I
beginning of the
I
book.
do think that's interesting. Actually, I don't think he changed her for himself.
No.
I genuinely think he was trying to do her a favor for to get specifically Michael.
Mhm.
I Yeah. Next favorite quote. So at the very end, when they like finally we love each other moment, he is out with another girl, Alex, who was his prom date,
Mhm.
and Liz is like constantly comparing herself, being like, "Oh, she's like obviously he likes Alex more than me,"
Mhm.
and he says, "She's not you," and she's like, "What?" And he says, "She isn't you."
This
I
would be
know.
a really good movie, I think.
I think I heard rumors it's gonna be made this movie. So, and literally the next page over, this is the best quote in the entire book. And when I read this,
Okay.
I like tear up. Okay, this is Wes sharing. This is Wes talking to us. "I fell in love with you, teasing you in the second grade. When I first discovered that I could turn your cheeks pink with just a word, then I fell in love with you."
That must have been so hard for him to, like, see her wanna get with Michael the whole time and, like
He was such a G though for like trying to
yeah.
orchestrate that. Or um later on, I think shortly before this, we find out that so Liz, she plays the piano and she has from a very young age, and now
Mhm.
she's quite good. But she would practice like every like specifically every weekend morning or something. And her dad, I think she shares with her dad that she likes Wes, but she doesn't think Wes likes her back. And her dad's like, "Do you know that whenever we would especially leave the window open when you play the piano because we noticed that Wes is sitting under the window listening to you play piano, and that was before you were good, like you were bad." And that my heart, when I read that, I was squealing. It was so cute.
I
Yeah.
I can't wait to finish this book.
If, if this book was around when I was the ripe age of 16, 17,
Mhm.
it honestly, TH, it would have screwed my perception of how I want a romance to
Same.
go.
Same.
I don't know. I don't think they go that way, to be honest,
No.
which is
Like,
very
even
sad
now
to
reading
me.
this, I'm like, "Oh, like, I want this." And I'm like,
I know. I'm reading this and I'm like, man, I want.
right? Like, I want this, like, hometown, next door neighbor, cutesy romance, like, but I have a good one now, so it's okay.
I still have time.
Okay, but every time I read a romance, it makes me reevaluate my whole life and be like, "I want Alex with me right now." Like, I miss Alex.
Oh,
So maybe that's a good thing.
wow.
It's a good
Yeah,
sign for a relationship.
I love a romance.
I I can't. There's something about, like, YA romance where like, nothing's gonna get spicy, like, you kinda know how it's
Uh-huh.
gonna end. There's something about that, like, predictability that's so comforting. Like, this
I,
book is so comforting.
you know what? I thought I had recently. I feel like sometimes adult romances rely too much on spice, and they're cringy, like too cliche tropes.
Yeah.
Whereas in YA, I feel like you're getting a better story.
I don't even know if you're getting a better story with YA. I just feel like they just accept the fact that they know it's gonna be cheesy and run with it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like
Mm.
I trying to think of all the romances I read recently. I don't think any of the adult romances have made my heart squish the same way this romance made my heart squish.
Mhm. That's
I
fair.
think this is I don't know. I'm gonna share my rating. This is a 5 stars for me. This is in the 5 star family, and I honestly I want to read everything by one pager now.
Honestly, seeing how fast I'm going through this book is like, yeah, this will probably be a 5 star for me too.
I just this is so good.
It's
So okay. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
it's just like I feel like it's healing my inner, like, high school self who never got to experience something like this, and, like, who went through high school, like, pretty, like, anxious and had, like, my own issues and stuff like that, like, seeing this or reading this is so comforting and, like, healing for me where I'm like, "It's good that it worked out for them," you know?
I think healing is a really good word. I feel like this book is really healing.
Yeah, and it's just so, like, I don't know, I personally, like, related a lot to it so far, and, like, I relate a lot to, like, Liz. And how she's kinda like an oddball, like, she seems like everything goes wrong at the right time, like, you know, and, like, listens to music to help her, like, calm down and, like, get through the day and, like, makes a little soundtrack and wants a little playlist, like, I used to be like that too, where I'd be like,
Um,
"Let's make a playlist," or, like, you know, "Let's go shopping and, like, go crazy and do some fun things," and, like, all I really wanted was, like, to drive around with my crush and, like, spend time together and, like, go to the mall and blah, 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 like, it's so healing seeing that someone got to live that, even if it's fictional.
I think also when if you're, it's just like a little ray of sunshine. Like there's so much
Mhm,
scary, terrible things happening in the world, and it's just like a perfect escapism.
mhm, that's true. That's a good way to put this, like an escapism comforting book.
Yeah. Ew. If you haven't read the book yet, like do yourself a favor and read the book.
Mhm.
It's
Or
so
at least
good.
put it on your TBR.
It's
Like,
definitely a worth it book.
it's definitely like 100% worth the hype.
Yeah. So I want to share. I was looking through the one-star reviews of this book on
Okay.
Goodreads, and by the way, less than 1% of the reviews are 1 star. But the funniest one I read was, "This was not better than the movie."
That's it, period?
Yeah, I just think that's so funny. Okay, who was your
This was
favorite and
not
least
better than
favorite character?
Okay. Um, hmm. First of all, I don't know, maybe I'm just, like, in my Delulu era, but, like, I'm not really a big fan of Joss.
Agreed. I think she's the best friend.
Well, like, especially when, like, Michael came and Liz was like, "Oh my god, like, this is my chance, like, blah, blah, blah," and, like, totally in her Delulu era, which, like, I can recognize she's kinda being delusional there, but, like, the way she shut it down so fast, I was like, "You're not even gonna give your friend a chance?" Like, even though she knew about, like, the tea and whatever, like, I still feel like if, like, I was gushing on someone that hard, the last thing I wanna hear from my best friend is like, "You're delusional, get over it." Like, let me be
That
delusional.
the delusional thing really is out of like just out of bounds. Like that's not
Mhm.
okay.
No.
Yeah,
She
I
was
think it's
just like
also you're saying.
she's just like I feel like she's like this dark storm cloud in Liz's life,
Hmm.
but maybe that's
Yeah,
just me. Like, I know she's just trying to ground her, but, like, I don't know. Let the girl
I
be the
think
Lulu.
exactly, and I think Joss, she kept forgetting. She wasn't considerate about like when you lose someone that doesn't go away,
Mhm.
especially someone like your mom. That is something that is gonna stick with her for the rest of her life. The pain is gonna like some days the pain is gonna feel the same as like the day it happened.
Yeah.
But and at the same time, it's also on Liz for not communicating that because fortunately for Joss, as much as we understand it, she hasn't experienced grief yet, so
Mhm.
she doesn't know. Miss Rose doesn't know, and
Yeah.
the communication could definitely be better. But yeah, Joss just seemed like you
She
know
just seemed a little out of touch with her
maybe
best
she was the
friend.
delusional one.
I think that, like, I don't know, maybe she just didn't really realize that, like, her always talking about her mom and always being like, My mom's gonna be there, my mom's gonna be, like, there," like, I don't think she realized how big of an impact that has on someone who doesn't have a mom.
Okay. What about your favorite character?
Um, so far it's gotta be Wes, like, he's so charming. This
Wes.
man.
Wes is known as the perfect book boyfriend on TikTok.
Yeah, is he?
He
Okay,
is my
okay.
favorite book boyfriend that I've read ever.
He, like it's just so cute how supportive of his like, how supportive of her Delulu he is.
I love him. It's just so cute. The scene where he calls, no, she calls him, and she's trying to figure out what part of the house he's in because they're neighbors, right? Have you read that yet? I think
Mm-mm.
it's coming up. So what, like she calls him, and like he's in the living room watching a rom com, and it was just
Yeah,
really cute.
okay.
It was so cute.
He is, like, more like her than she thinks, and I think that's really cute.
I think they're so cute for each other. I ate this book up. Okay, next
I just
question. Oh, sorry. Please share.
No, I just love these 2. They're just so cute, like, I like whatever, continue.
Mhm. So, if you could change one thing about the story, what would it be and why?
I don't know. What would you do? What would you change?
So I would change. I I hate the miscommunication trope, and it's utilized at the end with the prompting. I do wish we got to see Wes and Liz at prom, because what happens at the like they get together post prom, but even if like her Liz and Michael still went, and then maybe during prom they like had a
Oh,
moment
okay,
where
I
they're
see,
like,
I
"Oh,
see.
I'm sorry," like, "Oh," like
Mhm.
just so they could have experienced prom together. And with Joss, because Joss was like, "That's oh, Joss and Liz were reunited at prom," and they like talk about it. I wish that happened, or I wish like I understand the prom plot was like important, and obviously like she was gonna go to prom with Michael, like it was very obvious that's the plot.
Mhm.
But I wish it wasn't. I
But
wish she went to prom with Lex.
but I think that's perfect for this book
Yeah,
because it's like 2 movie magic if they were to get back together. But the
yeah,
point is that it's, like, better than the movies, it's, like, not what she expected. So I think that it's, like, perfect for the plot that they don't get together for prom.
yeah.
And I think also it, like, shows her that, like, prom actually isn't that important. Like, it's
We
not a
don't have
magical
prom
movie
yet.
moment. Yeah, we don't. So, we had, like did you have a grad, like,
I
banquet thing?
did. We had grad banquet and we had a wine and cheese.
A
I went to
what?
my wine. We had a wine and cheese. It
Oh,
was, I believe, before grad, and then we had like a grad banquet afterwards, which I didn't go to.
okay. You didn't go to your grad banquet?
No,
Yeah,
my
I wish
friends
I
weren't
didn't.
going. You know,
Oh,
like I wasn't a party. I still am not a partier. You know,
mhm.
so
Me neither. It was a dry grad too, so we were, like, sneaking out
oh,
um,
mm.
sorry, we were, like, sneaking out of
Oh,
the banquet
yeah, yeah.
and, like,
Oh, you
drinking
went
out
to
of
Catholic school, right? So
yeah,
I went
yeah.
Catholic.
Uh,
No.
woo! Yeah, I was rebellious back in my high school days, and,
Yeah.
my grad banquet was nothing like prom slash like the movies, but it's okay. I'm over it now.
Would you say it was better than the movies?
No,
No.
it was worse.
Hmm. At my wedding cheese, that was the first time I experienced actually someone tried to peer pressure me into smoking weed. Yes. And one of my friends there who has known me very well since I moved pretty much and like
Mhm.
knew who I was, like she stopped for me and she was like leave she said no, like leave her alone. Because there was like everyone was drunk and apparently high. And
Crossed.
honestly, peer pressure is not what you think it's gonna be. Like it's literally just like, oh, like come on, like just like go for it. Like it's especially because I was like the kid that like everyone knew. Like I was like a goody two shoes, like
Yeah.
kind of a pick me, sometimes a bitch.
Be
But like
honest, were you
getting
gonna do it?
no, of course not. I still wouldn't do it. So
Mhm.
I was like, I don't think this person who like stood up for me realizes like how grateful I was in that moment. It
Yeah.
was just like nice.
Shout out to that person.
Yeah. Shout out Angelica, I love you.
Thanks, Angelica, for
Yeah.
saving my friend.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. So I want to talk about some of the hate comments, some other hate comments I saw.
Okay, please hit me with them.
So there's some salty people in this review section. So people are saying how they felt like Liz was annoying and stubborn, that she was self-centered and cliche. To that I say, that is the point of the book. And she wasn't stubborn, she is a kid. And cliche, that's a rom com. What do you think?
Yeah, like
People were upset that she was like, Lynn Painter wrote her as such a, I'm not like other girls. I like dress with pockets and that eat burgers. And to that I will say, it's obvious that Lynn Painter is not the age of the person who is in the book. And sometimes it's we have to understand that like I don't know, in your opinion, like should the author try the best to be right write the character exactly as the generation is? I feel like that's hard. Like are
No.
you I don't know what generation Love Painter is in. I want to
This
say she's a
book,
millennial.
yeah, probably. This book is
It gave millennial.
100% fully giving millennial,
It
and it's
does.
giving people who are not in this generation, like teenagers right now. I don't think people who are teenagers right now would like this book. I think you have to be an adult to enjoy the contents of this book because I don't think teenagers when they're reading this book, number 1, have the empathy to understand what this character is actually going through and that it's like way deeper than just like, "Oh, I lost my mom, I'm so quirky, LOL." Like it's way deeper than that. And then I don't think teenagers really act like this right now.
I agree.
But it's like
I
but it's how we acted as teenagers. Like,
that's how it feels like. It feels more like us when teenagers because when we were
mhm.
teenagers at the time, that
Yeah.
was oh she eats burgers like that. I
That was
honestly I would say a couple years before us even. Like
mhm.
I remember that was like a trope in books I read when I was in the fourth grade, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's so different.
Yeah. Like,
Eating
yeah,
burgers. Yeah.
yeah. Like, I'm not afraid to get messy. I only shop at, this store. Or,
I
I
have
don't
a
shop where the cool
Twitter.
kids shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's so, our generation teenager.
You know what this book kind of gives? Did you ever watch the American Girl doll movies?
No. Actually, yeah. I've only watched one. The one where
Which
she's,
one?
a diver and then gets a concussion.
Okay, I never watched that one.
Maybe that's not an American Girl
I
doll.
was obsessed with McKenna, the gymnast, and
Mhm.
then the painter. The girl that's a painter. It's kind of giving that, except they're in like supposedly the fourth grade.
Oh.
Yeah, but
But, yeah, I don't think this book was meant to be enjoyed by teenagers of this
they
generation.
they do enjoy it. It's received very well by
Yeah?
everyone. I I honestly think the hate comments are just from salty people who don't know how to enjoy.
Yeah. Like, if you're saying that the main character is cliche, you're missing the whole point of the book.
Look at this comment, all caps. DNF 25% in, and I loathe her, hate her. I hate quirky heroines like this. They're delusional and dress ugly, and they ruin my day. She has extreme mommy issues. Was a weird as f kid who wrote songs and shit, bro. I did kid. Someone is jealous.
Someone does not get it.
Okay, firstly, I don't think it's weird to write songs. I think it's really cute and endearing, and it's a creative outlet. I don't know what's so bad about having a quirky errand. Like, it's
Yeah,
cute.
what?
It's cute. Someone said, I'm shocked by all the good reviews on this book. Liz is honestly so annoying and stubborn. If she would just express anything she was feeling, she would be such a bad friend or daughter. She's extremely self centered and cliche. Everyone in her life deserves better. So here's the thought. So people don't magically wake up knowing how to communicate. I'll
No.
be honest, there was a time in my life where I thought I knew how to communicate, and I don't. I didn't.
It's just part of growing up.
So,
If
yeah,
I knew how to communicate with my mother from the time I was birthed, there would be no character development.
so true. Yeah,
And,
I
how do you expect a girl who lost her mother and it was replaced had a new, stepmother after a year of her mother dying to be able to communicate with a stranger? Because that's basically their relationship was nothing, came from nothing.
yeah.
There's this one comment that's like, "I'm shocked by all the good reviews on this book. I think this book was meant for children."
I saw that review.
Like, hello? It literally says on the back of the book, ages 12 and up. The book is meant for children. It is a
Yeah.
young adult book.
hmm And people commenting about it being cliche, honestly, it's literally about cliche tropes in movies. The point is to be cliche.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, but overall, I really enjoyed the book.
I can't believe people, like, thought that she was, like, dense and selfish. Like, is she not just a kid trying to figure it out?
Yeah. Oh, yes. So what I was gonna say, I think a lot of us have a skewed perception of how people are supposed to act at different ages, and I think this is in part because of the TV shows we watched growing up, Hannah Montana,
Mhm.
um, Victorious. Growing up and watching this as a grown up, and they're depicting high schoolers. It's high school is not like that. Like you weren't
No.
like that in high school. So I think when we grow up too, we have a skewed perception of how we even acted when we were 18.
Yeah.
And like even now, I look at my younger sister who is gonna turn 18 soon. It's just crazy to think that when I was 18, I thought I was so mature and I knew so much.
Mhm.
And I look at my sister and I'm like, this girl knows nothing. So
Yeah.
clearly, I didn't know anything about 18 too.
No.
So I feel like we forget, like in the movies, like children are, or teenagers are depicted different, way more mature, simply because it is an adult playing a child,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
That's
But
just my
also,
thought.
like
So,
yeah. But also, like, you don't know what grief does to people. Like, if she matures a little bit later than other people because she doesn't have a mom, is that not expected? Like,
yeah,
doesn't have someone, she doesn't have her mom to, like, tell her, like, "Hey, this is, like, kind of delusional," or, like, "Hey, like, when you grow up, you need to do this, this, and this, and, like, be mature and talk to your friends and, like, have these conversations, blah, blah, blah." Like, there's no one in her life to tell her what to do.
yeah, agreed. Wow. Well, I think this is a good time for us to wrap it up. What do you think?
I think so too. But I just wanna say
So,
to all the haters
oh,
who don't get it, this book is not for you.
you know what? If people go in with no expectations in a book, you're gonna enjoy the book. If you let the book be what it's supposed to be, you're gonna like
Yeah.
it.
Mhm. Not
This book,
everything has to be, like, a literary work of art.
no,
Like,
exactly.
let's just accept that she's a little bit weird, and that's
hmm
okay, and this
Yes,
guy loves her for who she is, and that's really cute.
exactly. Period. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for joining us for our first book club episode. So next month we are reading Where the Lemon Trees Grow. It's over there for me. So we are going to be sending out details to that live whenever we get that sorted out. And please follow us on our socials, which are linked in the description. And yeah,
Thank you.
see you guys next
We'll see
week.
you next week.
Bye. Oh, I should do the outro. Yeah, I don't really know how to end the live.
Just end it. Goodbye.
Oh, there it is. Bye.